sa ena trumika ne fani ina betan Ebenezer door to door se uwo Italy a fra ring lines 333-270-9483 and I say 327-3308-254 se uwo UK so a fra number yi 078-48-420-412 Ebenezer door to door ye dawase.
Beloved, I bring you greetings from the Inside Studios. Sorry so much, we had an audio problem, so we had to reschedule it and come back. And we are back, hopefully this one works. And so let me quickly say this, if you can hear us, please let us know from the comment section that you can hear us. As I said, it is the Inside Studios and you are watching The Virtuous Woman. You know that it is a program where we talk about issues of life concerning women, which can be health, it can be parenting, it can be marriage, etc., etc. And today, as always, we are back. I am your host, Susie Osikeni Georges, and today we are talking about motherhood. Yes, we are talking about motherhood. It is said that God could not be everywhere, and so he made mothers. As I say again. And to do this, I'm not going to be here to do it all by myself, but as always, we have great people who always join us to share their ministry with us, to help us acquire knowledge in our journey. And today it is motherhood from the Christian perspective. We have with us a great woman of God that I've known for a very short while, but I can say that one word I can use to describe her is that she's so sweet. When you hear her talk, you will fall in love with her. And so she's joining me right from the UK. I've earned myself another mother. How graceful I am, how privileged I am to be accepted by great people to come on the Inside Studios to share knowledge with us. Remember, on the Inside Studios, we always say that we are here to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. And so it is an opportunity for you to share this broadcast with anybody you know out there that is going to be of a benefit for. We are talking about mothers, you know. And this woman that I'm talking about, as I said, is joining us right from the UK. She will tell us a lot about herself so that we can all know her. She is no other person than the First Lady of the Kingdom Life Chapel International, UK. She is First Lady Mrs. Louisa Osborne from the UK. Mommy, you are so much welcome to the Inside Studios.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a privilege and I don't take it for granted. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mommy. When I first spoke to her, of course, I saw her for the very first time thanks to the ministry of our minister, Thomas, from the UK. And immediately I saw the topic for the day, I said, no, I have to get close to this woman because as a mother, I have a lot to learn. And I don't want to learn it alone, but I want to share it with you out there also as a mother. Because when it comes to motherhood these days, it has become very, very expedient that we acquire much more knowledge because we are not dealing with, as we said in church today, the modern youth is quite different from the youth of some time ago. And so we need to adjust ourselves, acquire more knowledge on how to go about our mothering journey. Mommy, thank you so much again. But for us who don't know you at all, we would like you to tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Mrs. Louisa Osborne?
Thank you for having me, and good afternoon. So, Louisa Osborne is born of Ghanaian parentage. My formative years was in Ghana. I attended Lincoln Community School and then went on to Holy Child Secondary School and then did my university in the UK, where I met my dear husband, and we have a ministry, as you've already said, Kingdom Life Chapel International, where we pastor in the east of London. And I work within the CYPS, and that is the Children and Young People Services. And yeah, that's what I can say about myself. I have children, of course, 2 children, 2 wonderful children, Jeremiah Joseph and Elizabeth Daisy.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Mommy, I think you said you have been in ministry for like 28 years.
Yeah.
Then you know that much knowledge has gone into this, and this session you are assured that you will receive something. And so share this broadcast with somebody. You yourself to sit in your couch, relax yourself, take maybe a gadget or a pen and a paper if you are of that era, acquire some knowledge, write down some nuggets that will help you in this session. We know that your time here will never be in vain. It is said that knowledge is power. We are here to acquire knowledge. Of course, from the Christian perspective. It is the Inside Studios, it is the Virtuous Woman, and so it is always from the Christian perspective. Wow. Mommy, we have known you from the UK, a family, a mother, a wife. She's into, she's a psychologist. She has to do with taking care of or listening to people who have issues, especially families. And so she has much knowledge about her area of ministry, and she's here to share with us. But Mommy, before we go on, we would like you to talk to us about why mothers are so special to God, and then what the divine purpose of a mother is.
Mothers are special to God because God Himself is a mother. You know, we often say "Nyame Obatampa," and I think it means God that is like a mother. And so He bears the characteristics of a mother, God Himself: kind, nurturing, forgiving, and cares about us. You know, so I believe that mothers are almost a replica of God's character. And according to biblical expectations, mothers are to love and to care for, you know, our children. You know, a mother is to be gentle, caring, nurturing. And so I think God has placed a great demand on us to continue His characteristics here on earth. That is how I see it. You know, just as He loves us, and He demonstrated to us by giving us His only begotten Son as a form of love, we are also to love our offsprings in the same manner. You know, and I believe that it's a sacrificial pathway. And by that I mean, when you become a mother, or when you get into the mother fold, your life almost becomes sacrificial. No longer you put yourself on the back burner, and everything else, you know, goes before you for the children. And I believe that mothers are also influencers. You know, we're meant to be soul builders. We're kingdom recruiting agents to advance the kingdom. Because when that precious life is given to you, you know, and the molding process when you're raising these children up, and you're able to let them become and understand, you know, the word of God and become good Christians, they become agents for the kingdom. You know, and like Elizabeth, and in the Bible, Elizabeth in the Bible, the mother of John the Baptist, you know, her son became the forebearer of our Lord Jesus Christ. When we look at even Mary, the mother of our Lord Jesus Christ, you know, the good works that she did. And also when we look at Susanna, the mother of Charles Wesley, the Wesley brothers who helped build the Methodist Church. It was all, a result of, molding. And so I believe that that's the purpose of a mother, to mold the innocent lives that have been placed in our hands. And also the divine purpose of a mother is also to train up a child. I think Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. I believe that the divine purpose of a mother is to teach, to train, to mold, and to make sure that that child fulfills its divine destiny. Every child, I believe, before makes its entry into the earth, has a destiny. And so that our responsibility as mothers is to train that child to be able to come into their divine purposes and destinies. So that is how I see it. I think as a mother, you need to be instrumental in your child's life. Because in my opinion, there's no other that can do better than you as the mother. So it's a lot of emphasis is placed on us. It's a big demand, but I believe that by the grace of God, we will be able to do that which God has given to us to do. So that's what I have to say about it.
Wow, thank you so much. Mommy has put in it so much, the definition of a mother, and that is quite, it can become overwhelming. I saw a video where a random interview, some people who were looking for a job were called, and when they were given the job description, they asked if this kind of job existed, because what they were supposed to do, they couldn't come to the understanding that there will be somebody who can do all that was required, and at the end, that job they were supposed to do was to be mothers.
Wow. The job is...
Yeah. Because just as Mommy has said, the caretaker, the manager of the home, sometimes, most of the time, you become the doctor, you become the nurse, you become the cleaner, the cook. Sometimes you become the lawyer because you have to settle, you have to be the judge of cases at home. Some of the times too, you have to become the referee because they are fighting and you have to separate them. And so the job of a mother can sometimes become overwhelming. That is why Mommy has come out. The reason why we are here is that she has come out with a book, and it is called Motherhood from the Christian Perspective. I have read it, and much knowledge. You can see that my husband this afternoon said the woman is very knowledgeable. She has read so much, because when you read the book, you can see that much work has been put into it, and it is going to be of a benefit unto each and everyone who comes across this book. As I said, she is joining us right from the UK, and so if you are interested, if you want to acquire knowledge from this book, you can contact me, or you can get to Mommy. If you contact me, I will by all means get to Mommy, and you have a copy from wherever you are. It is such a great piece, and that is a bit of what we are going to discuss. Of course, we will not discuss everything because you need to read the book, but Mommy is going to share a bit with us for it to whet our appetite in going for the book. Just look at the cover. When I saw it, I said, wow, this is so nice. The cover is already enticing, and so it will really ginger you to have a look at what is inside. And I assure you, your life will not be the same as a mom. You will know what to do. You will know which areas you will need to concentrate more on, because Mommy has been on the field. It is a profession. She has dealt with families, with children, and she is also a mother of a church. So you know that it is all areas you can get from this book. Mommy, we want to know what really inspired you to write this book.
Right. The inspiration came as a result of my observation in the way young people, that I engage with and also around me relate to others. And I'm not sitting in a place of judgment, but it's just from where I sit, from a professional level, from the Christian level, church level, and from my own personal space with my children. I just felt that, sometimes the way they come out, the way they behave, the way they respond is as a result of perhaps something going wrong or something not going right. And so I said to myself that what can I do to rectify this? Of course, I cannot carry the whole world on my shoulders, but from my angle, from the angle where I am, what can I start doing? So initially, it wasn't even meant to be a book. It was meant to be like a flyer with a few bullet points, to share to the moms that I engage with, the moms that I come across who are having, things to deal with, whose children have become problematic. So I just said to myself, let me get a flyer, a few bullet points just to share with these mothers, because we all come from different places. We all come from different environments. Not all of us have been blessed to be raised up in quote unquote the Christian way or quote unquote the proper way, whichever way that is. So we can only give what we have. And so if you haven't been taught certain things, you haven't been opened up to certain things, you wouldn't know. And so in your mind, you're thinking you're doing the best that you can. So sometimes it is good to, open up seminars, learn, read. And so that was where it's coming from. Just to put up a few bullet points out there, share with the mothers that I have that I come across, and just to encourage them, to see if they can do better. And so I know there's so many things out there on motherhood, parenting, you name it, but I'm just adding my voice to what's out there already, just to re-echo what is out there already. The intention is not to create a new wheel. The wheel is out there already, but we're just adding spice to it to keep it in motion. Just stirring the teapot to keep it, tasty, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And so I feel that putting these nuggets out there, somebody will come across it, it will read, it will jog your memory, they will find a point in it that will kind of trigger and think, oh, I was doing this way, but perhaps I can look at it this way. So that is the whole reason why I read the book. And I also felt that somebody will say, why motherhood, why fatherhood? From the research that I did, obviously professional-wise, you sometimes go places, you see people, you talk to them, and the whole emphasis was always, well, I can have a relationship with my mother doesn't care. And many a times I ask myself, what about the father? When everybody studying all of this, it was always mom. So I felt that, wait a minute, then mothers have a lot, to do. So hence, motherhood, and obviously because I am a Christian, that is my measure, that is my yardstick, that is my ultimate, that is my all. And so I felt that if I put this together, alongside a few scriptures I can support what I'm saying and put it out there, it would be beneficiary, to somebody. And so that is the core reason why, I did it. And the question also comes back to me. I kept on asking myself, why mother? Is it because they are attached to us with the umbilical cord, or because I also realized that the children that and my mother didn't do this, and my mother did this. And, there was a time that somebody was taking a holiday, and they were going to stay at a friend's place, and they didn't want to go home for their mother to see them. And I just couldn't understand it. I asked them why. They said, oh, if I go and I don't take her, and I don't give her A, B, C, D, she wouldn't be pleased with me. It wouldn't even be worth my going home. And I thought, wow, and so for such a mother, like I said, we don't sit in a place of judgment, but perhaps in her sphere of life, she hasn't just been open up to certain things, certain understanding, And so when you put these things together, and perhaps it reaches their hands, they might become aware and know that, oh my goodness, I should have done this way, or perhaps done it the other way. And so that is how um, this came about, the writing of this book came about,
Wow.
Mothers were to influence our children, basic values, we help them religiously, morally, and just try and mold them to become a decent human being when, they grow up and to become a better person in society. And so it's the ultimate sacrifice. It's not easy at all. Like you rightly said, you're managing the home, you have church, you have your own profession, you have your children, you have the big boy that is the husband, have to manage your own self, your own emotions, own processes, And so it is not a kid's play at all. I think mothers need to be applauded. It yeah. Mhm. At all. Hmm. Yeah. Um, there is a difference. Obviously, there's a generation difference, generation gap, cultural differences, environmental differences. You know, um, those of us that were raised in, Africa, those of us who were raised in Europe, the cultural difference. And a typical example would be, say, for example, when we were growing up in secondary school, that when you go back on holiday, all the house helps or whatever house supporters would send off, and you have to do the chores in the name of being trained. That was the conversation we used to have with my mother in our household. Four girls and one boy. The was one of them who were being trained. Yes, in the name of being trained. But it was good. But when you transport those ideologies here, it's different because even though our children are born of Ghanaian heritage or whatever heritage you're coming from, the environment is different. But you cannot transport those views, those thought processes over here to practice. It will be problematic. Typical example: when they go to school, their friends don't, do chores. They don't wash dishes. They don't, clean and all of these things. And then when your child is asked, "How did you spend the weekend?" They say, "Mom had me washing the pots. Mom had me cooking." They're thinking, "What is going on in this household?" Am I making sense? And so you need to blend the two. You need to make sure that the child understands why you're asking them to do this, and obviously the outcomes of why you're letting them do this. But those of us who were raised in, Africa, where the cultural differences, you don't even ask. You're told to do it and you just do it. That's the difference. In today's postmodern society, you can ask a child that, can you do this? Or they'll ask you, Mom, why do you want me to do? And you have to explain. You can't just start raising your voice and say, how dare you ask me this question? Just do as you're told. Their generation is different. And so people tackle things differently. That's not to say that, you shouldn't raise them up, in a certain way and throw away all the cultural dynamics. No, it must be a good blend, because in as much as they are of our heritage, their environment is different, and your environment affects you, like it or not. A typical example is, say you're wearing a white tie, or even let's take for smokers, those who smoke. You're not smoking, somebody is smoking. You're in their environment. By the time you leave, your clothes is full of smoke. Why? Because you've been in that environment. And so we cannot say that our environment don't affect us. It does. We imbibe things in subconsciously, unconsciously, and you're formed in a certain way without even knowing. So a good example is, if I go home on holiday and I meet some of my cousins, you're like, oh, you're so different, or you're so, you become so westernized, and you don't see it. But they can tell, because you've been away for a while, you've been in a different environment, and I think it's the same that applies to our children. They're in a different environment, they're in a different place, so we need to make sure that there's a proper balance there, when we're asking them to do things, when we're trying to raise them in a certain way, etc., etc. Culture is important, traditions are important, but it must be a good blend and a good balance. Yeah.
Wow. That's so much of a nugget to pick out there. A lot. It seems that we are not, as parents, mothers are not able to understand their children. There is a difference in how our parents were raised and how we are raised. Just like today we had a youth day, and the man of God really made us to understand that youth of today have different problems as compared to that of the old one, because of the culture, the social media, the friends and all that, and they have a lot going on in their mind. And as parents, what we need to do is to grow with them. We need to understand them. We need to sometimes put ourselves in their shoes. So sometimes I talk as a parent and I talk as a youth, because I'm both. Like, I mix the two. So wow. That is so much to do as a mother. And that is why these sessions are held, for us to acquire much more knowledge, because the world is growing so fast, and we can't still be where we are and say we were raised like this, and so we are going to raise our children like that. And just as Mommy said, they go to school, they hear from their friends about their weekend. Maybe they might say, we went for an excursion, we went for this, and our children are saying, okay, we were in the house all weekend, we didn't go anywhere, I washed dishes, we cleaned the house. And from their friends, it will sound so strange for them to say, so you didn't do any extra curriculum thing, it is only home cleaning and washing and all that. And so we need to learn. They say, when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. So we need to try to blend ourselves, pick hours that are good and pick theirs that are good, and blend the two, so that our children will not also feel so odd when they are among their friends. But they should be convinced enough to say, okay, my mom has told me this is the reason why I need to do this. And so they will be able to defend themselves when they are with their friends.
Yeah. And also, one point I forgot to mention was, we shouldn't think that they're too young to be taught the scriptures or to be prayed with, or for them to understand the things of God. Because where our church is situated is in the east of London, and there are lots of other religious people around. And I see them on Fridays when they're going as little as 5, all dressed up, not in their Western clothes, but in their clothes that they take to the place where they go and pray and all of these things. And so at a very early age, we need to infuse these things in them. You know, Bible says that in Proverbs 22, the verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. You know, when the seeds are implanted at the, formative years, you know, even if they stray, it's not raised about in the unconscious, it's already been applied in the unconscious mind. It will come out. You know, so I just want to encourage a mother who is listening that if you have a child who goes to Sunday school with, who goes to church with, and is now, hopefully gone to university and is, trying all sorts of things, don't lose hope. Keep praying. Things that you've planted will get. Keep praying, don't lose hope. That child will come back. Sometimes you have to go off a little bit to push boundaries, to experiment. It is prayer that has kept our children, and placed them where they are by the grace of God. So it's very important. Start at a young age. We don't always think that, they're too small. Let's get them Barbie dolls and get them all these little computer stuff. Bring it to them. Read the Bible stories to them. Let them ask you questions. Let them understand it. Take them to Sunday school. Let them take part in what is going on. It's all part of the molding. They're being taught morals, values, kindness. Very, very important. This day and age, you can't come across a lot of kind people. Everybody's out there to get another. So all these things will be infused in the child during the formative years. When we wait for them to grow, it becomes difficult. They say that old habits die. And the child is already, molded and has their own ideologies. It's sometimes difficult. But when in their formative years, you're praying with them, and then not just praying with them, but you're also modeling right as a mother. We are all walking telegraphs. Walking telegraphs being read on a daily basis, like or not. So as a mother, you need to model right. You can't drinking, and smoking and doing all sorts of things, getting into all sorts of vices, and then you're telling your child, don't do this, don't do that. And then on Sunday, we all get in the car, we go to church, and we're confusing them, sending mixed messages. We need to model right. Don't say one thing and do another. Let your word be your bond. If it's yes, it's yes. If it's no, it's no. Because they're watching. When you're so possibly they can't even retort back or say anything. But when they grow, they sit you down and they start talking to you. And then in your defense become, my child is so ungrateful and I did this. And they were watching throughout their journey. It's very, very important as mothers, we model right. Yeah, let's throw that in.
Model right.
Yeah.
They said that children, they are fast to pick up what they see you do than what you say.
Exactly.
What you do is what they will also do. So parents, especially mothers, we spend much more time with the kids. So model right. Do the right thing before them. Sometimes I have had a case where I'm with my phone and I tell little boy, put that tablet away and say, but when you are also with your phone. Exactly. They want to know why you are doing what you are asking them not to do.
Yeah.
Wow. There is so much to do. Mommy earlier on also spoke about the other side, those who are not of the same believers. The way they confidently carry their religion, and our kids are afraid even to say that they are Christians. That is why, just as Mommy said, we need to inculcate the word of be able to fit in. So for my friend to like me, then let me do what my friend is asking me to do. But if we have taught them, if they already know, if we are doing what we are supposed to do, out there, they will be able to defend themselves and say, okay, it is good for you, but for me, I will not do that. You can smoke, but I will not smoke. And because there is also passive smoking, I will not even stay with you while you smoke, because I may have the same consequence as you holding the cigarette or any whatever thing you are holding in your hand. It is not only in this area but in a lot of areas. That is sometimes it's very difficult for us to talk to our children about sex education. How can I talk to my child about this?
Yeah.
Because we were not talked about.
Yeah.
So we feel it is somehow strange to talk to our children
about these things, yes. But this is where self worth also comes in as a mother. Talk with children about self worth. What do I mean by self worth? Self acceptance, accepting who you are, accepting the way you were formed, accepting your strengths, your weaknesses, and things the child can even do better. You have young people this day and age who using all sorts of creams to lighten their skin because they want to be light skinned, you know, and all it has its repercussions when you're much older. You know, if you're dark skinned, you're brown toned, let your child embrace that. Let them understand that it is nice, it's a good thing. You don't have to be a certain way to be accepted. And it is our responsibility as mothers to infuse these things into our children.
Mommy, this week, just what you just said, I saw a video where a mother was complaining about another mother. She was selling creams, and there is another mother who has come to her, asking her that she's pregnant. She's dark in complexion, and she wants the baby she's carrying to be white, to be fair. And so she wants a cream or something to take in to make the baby fair when she comes out. So it is not even the children who are putting on those creams, but it is we, even the mothers, who are thinking of doing those things. That is what, just as you said, we modeling right comes in.
Yeah, and so, you know, we have to have a sense of, you know, identity, who they are, you know, who I am. It is good to be this way. We can't all be equal, can't all be the same.
Not at all.
Have hair texture, we can't all have the same hair color. You know, and I'm not saying that don't take care of don't take care of yourself. You know, by all means do that. But let's let them understand and embrace who they are, you know. Yeah. And also teach them self-love, a good appreciation for yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, who's gonna love you? What are you projecting out there? You know? And so all of these things are things that we need to teach them, you know. Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
This book very soon for them to acquire more knowledge on their journey of motherhood.
Okay, so I have the book entails, I think, 9 chapters. 9 chapters. I have a copy here. The first one talks about the first chapter. I'm not going to give you all the nuggets because then
not at all, mommy.
Then you know there'll be no need to get the book. You know, I mean, it's simply to encourage mothers and to help them along the motherhood journey. You know, I believe that being a mother is a lifetime decision, and you know, it's almost like from the cradle to the grave. It doesn't matter how old your child is; they're still your child. You know, from a mother's perspective, you know, you still see them as your child, your baby. And so, you know, some may argue that, you know, maybe I had a difficult pregnancy, you know, the conditions in which I gave birth to my child, it wasn't very conducive, but at the end of it all, you're still a mother. And so those responsibilities, you know, are still yours. And so the first chapter talks about the career of life. You know, how when we're pregnant, we're all excited, the baby's happy, family's coming around, does this person look like, so forth and so on, and the things we do. I'm not going to give all of it away. The second chapter talks about nurture. You know, as mother, we're nurturers. You know, I think I'm not sure whether it's because of that attachment to the umbilical cord. I'm not a clinical person, so but I think that's attachment to the umbilical cord to the mother. It makes us, you know, natural nurturers. We want to take care of things, we want to take care of people, make sure they are okay, and all of these things. And so we're naturally, you know, nurturers. But if for whatever reason, you didn't get that sort of nurture and attachment. You can always learn, or you can always redo things. You know, say for example, you didn't have a good relationship with your mother in your formative years or your primary years, you know, and you think it's too late, you know, I didn't have that mother-daughter, my son-mother relationship, I can't stand my mom. Look, I just want to encourage you, it's never too late, you know, you can always redo things, you know, you can start from somewhere and progress. And so it's all part of the nurturing that I'm talking about, you know, mothers opening up, you know, caring, loving, you know, and just being there for your child. Third chapter talks about self-worth, which is all spoken about, how to speak into your child, especially the girl child, you know, let them have self-worth. Let them not be walking around opening up, quote unquote, to any Tom, Dick and Harry, and then at a very young age carrying a baby, your whole destiny is distorted, you know, and all of that. You need to speak to them about self-worth, what it means to be a woman, how to carry yourself well, not to think that when you're getting all these flattering, you know, messages, oh, you're pretty, you think that is all, you know, no, there's more to it than that. So, it is our responsibility as mothers. The schools are doing their bit, but I believe that as mothers, it is also our responsibility to let them accept themselves, you know. When she dresses up, tell her you're looking pretty. Don't just be quiet and look her up and not let her pass. Tell her, sweetheart, you're wife, you're looking pretty. Your dress suits you. You know, don't be like, don't when she's pretty, you're quiet. When she dresses, maybe you feel that clothes don't fit, you're like, are you going up like this? Look how your belly is popping out. You know, look at how your legs are crooked. None of that at all. Even if they're crooked, tell her that the L's are in shape. You know, try and make a positive situation out of a negative. Because your mom, the buck stops with you. Let the people outside say horrible things, and then you embrace, reassure, reaffirm, support. That is your role as a mother. Don't be the first one to wave the white handkerchief. Hey, you know, Louisa, where are you going with this hairstyle? It can be put in a better way. I think the long hairstyle suits you better than the curly hairstyle. Your delivery, you must be careful. Words can make or break human beings, people. You know, so especially when it's coming from somebody as sensitive as a mother. You know, why have you got that hairstyle on? Where are you going with this? Doesn't even suit you. These words are imbibed in the subconscious. We live with it, we grow with it, we go into marriage with it. And even when your husband is complimenting you, because you have these negative words, you can't even see, you can't even understand what he's saying. It was let's be careful. Don't touch your head like your father. And all, you know, we don't want any of those things. So let's try to be positive in our delivery. You know, there's room for discipline, there's room for correction. Let us separate the two. Let's not merge it all. Maybe because she's upset you in the morning, and so maybe she's going out to put on some clothes, look at you, no. Separate the two. Find time to correct, find time to discipline. And then when you need to encourage her, by all means do that, because you're her first role model. You know, she's looking up to you. And what you say means a lot to her and will have a lot of impact in her life. Later years down the line, you have people who come in, who cry, who are broken down. You sit down, you talk to them one-on-one. My mother never accepted me. My mother never thought I was beautiful. My mother was always, you know, and you're like, no, you know, you're lost words. And so let's affirm that, let's encourage it. When it's good, let's say that it's good. When it's bad, let's know how to put it. You know, oh, I think this black skirt is a little too short. You know, I think the long one suits you better. You know, nothing like, oh, your thighs are too fat, they're not in together. No, we're peeling away her self-worth, you know, and what is going to be left? Nothing. And then she just goes into despair and then just begins to behave in a certain way and you don't understand. There's a lot of emphasis and there's a lot of responsibility placed on mothers. Our delivery, what we say, how we say it, very, very important. Can either deplete the child's self-worth or build the child's, you know, confidence. You know, I have some people, some girls, when you see them, they're thinking, where did these girls get that confidence from? They are just popping, you know, because the confidence has been fed in. Oh my goodness, let me see.
Mommy, you're okay.
Am I okay? Am I okay? Because my battery's going low. That's why I thought.
Oh, okay. He said her battery is going low.
Just give me a minute to get into charge.
Mommy has been talking to us about the content of the book, and she's blessed as she has spoken much about the kind of words we use as mothers on our children. She has spoken so much about how we present even the negative things we see about our children to them. That even if they have done something that is wrong, there should be a very nice way we should present it in order for them not to feel that they don't belong. So it is very important that it is not too late to unlearn. Remember, it is the inside story. It is not too late to unlearn. We can unlearn the bad things that maybe we have carried from the way we were raised, and we can adjust, adapt, and do the right thing now. It is very important. Not too late. If you're a child, as a girl child, what we really need is for us to be told things that will boost our confidence, not to let us degrade ourselves, know that we are big, we are too skinny, we eat too much, we don't dress well. The same things that are not okay, but you say it in a very nice way. I mean, is everything okay now?
Everything's okay. And so the next chapter is the architect of your dwellings. It means, you're the homemaker. There's some homes when you enter, you almost think it's a bachelor's pad. There's nothing relaxing about the home. There's nothing about the home. It's so cold, it's so icy. And so these are, and it can cause you in depression. This part of the world, curtains are drawn, dark curtains, dark chairs. Try and make the home rosy, let it be appealing, so that you want to come home and spend more time at home than walking around in the malls and all of that. So it's all in there, the climate maker. And I say it in the chapter 6, the climate maker, the climate in the home, the temperature in the home. So our mom and dad having a good relationship, or is it always, this time is it Ukraine war in your home? that there's arguments, there's disputes, mom is yelling, dad is yelling, it has its impact on the children. You think, oh, we are no, they invite these things in and affect them emotionally, psychologically, mentally. They start performing bad at school and you think that they're not learning, but it's your behavior at home that is impacting their little lives. There's a misunderstanding. Mom is not speaking to dad for 2-3 weeks. The children can see all of these things. They can sense it. So we need to eradicate some of these things, and for their sake, make sure that the climate in the home is peaceful, is jolly, so that they can have good memories. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, those of us whose parents are no longer with us, all we have is memories. That's all we are left with. And so if your memories are not rosy, they're not jolly, you're not nice, there's nothing left with. You just have pain and bitterness and anger, and it can even carry on even into your adult relationships, because you yourself, you don't know how it is to have a peaceful home, how it is to have a calm home, how it is to have a jolly home, how it is to have a lovely home. There's always war in your home, and that's the only thing you know. And you can only give what you have. And so it is our responsibility as mothers to make sure that at home, of course, it takes to dad as well, but we're the homemakers, so let's let peace prevail. And so that is the 6th chapter. The 7th chapter talks about tough love. How to discipline the children, let your no be no, let your yes be yes, let's not be soft. As mothers, when dad is trying to implement certain things, we want to cut in and say, oh, let's try and soften the blow, this and that. But it's very necessary, to show tough love to the children sometimes, to reinforce discipline and all of these things. Very important. So I call it love. It's not easy to, when I look at my children, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, but I have to do what I have to do, But I call it tough love. You need to discipline them, you need to teach them what to do and all of these things. And then there's this an encouragement on chapter 8, surviving through hard times. I know that mothers, it's not easy, to raise up children where, it's not easy. It's not an easy job. It doesn't come with a manual.
At all.
That's with a manual. So we're either hanging on to old housewives' tales, or those of us who are privileged, we go to seminars, we read, try to be a better version of ourselves so that our children will be able to, be the children that God has destined them to be. And so all of these things are there, scriptures to encourage, to pray, to trust God, because at the end of the day, it's by the grace of God and prayer. For me, by the grace of God, people come up and ask me, "Oh, how did you do it? The child is so this, that." But I think that as a human being, I myself, I'm quite calm, so I think that those traits are there. I'm not agree. He says that he's a calmer person. The pendulum swings, there's a calm trait somewhere that you have to buy. So I thank God for that. But it's been prayer. Everything has been prayer. Lord, and by the encouragement of the Holy Spirit, how do I do this? Holy Spirit, give me wisdom. Holy Spirit, give me wisdom. It is prayer. You cannot go on this motherhood journey without prayer. It's got to be by prayer. It's not by might, it's not by power, but it's by the Spirit of the living God. Holy Spirit, how do I go about this? God, give me wisdom, to be able to deal with this situation so that there's no hurt, there's no pain. Holy Spirit, help me deal with this, and it's just by prayer. It's all been by prayer. So, yeah. And then in the chapter 9 says the grace to exceed. It's a short story about the plight of a little boy. I won't give you much, but I want you to read it, and at the end of it, make a decision on what you would have done as a mother. Yes, so I think that's the nutshell, yeah, of
It's really loaded, and so if you want to have more of it, you can contact me. I'll give you mommy's number, and you will be able to get your copy. It is really a great piece, and so please, you can see it from her background. It's a very nice book, and it's worth reading. Mommy, I'll go to Facebook to read some of the comments, but let me ask this question before I go, so that you give us, you enlighten us a bit about it. In chapter 3, you spoke about knowing the character traits of your child, that no two kids are the same.
Right. True. Right. I believe that every child is wired differently. From inception in your womb, every pregnancy is even different. And so even though they are born off the same womb, they should be treated differently. And the traits I talk about is an innate trait, a trait that, you've been wired with. So for example, some children, when in their formative years, you can see that when you give them a toy, you take the toy apart. They won't just play with it nicely. They would take the toy apart and then put the toy back together again. And then such a child gets interest, maybe what they want to be. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe an engineer or something. You pick in these things. The other children, you give them maybe a pencil to draw, they start drawing. You set the table, you put the cutlery down, they see the cutlery, they start drawing. Everything you give to them, they start drawing with it. And so these are the inner traits I'm talking about. That you need to observe, see what they're doing, yeah, and then how to balance everything. Others, you give them anything, you give them the sack on the floor. That's my footballer out there. And so for the one that is more academic, they will go to school, they will do well, they'll come home with their results. Bravo, A+, grades, we're grateful, we love you, we're proud of you. But for the one that perhaps will get a sports award, don't be like, that's every day you go, you bring a sports award. Come on, you bring something. Yeah. Am I making sense?
Yeah, very much.
They're all differently wired, and so as a mother, you need to really observe and see whose strength is where and what needs to be done. Let's not tar them all with the same brush, just because Eric or Kojo is coming with A+, results from school. He's given the biggest on the table, and then the other one that is, perhaps coming with something that's not really what you want is being treated differently. No mother should ever treat any of their siblings differently. The children, they can pick up these things. It's very easy to warm up the one that looks like you, behaves like you, likes the things that you like. It's very easy to warm up to them. And and you can almost always, sometimes even it's unconscious, just call them, oh, come over, do this, because they look like you, they behave like you, they're just like you. But make an emotional, an intelligent decision not to do that. Be very conscious that you do not do that. Even if you find yourself doing it, quickly correct yourself. Because the children, they pick it up. And you wonder how there's siblings who grow up and they don't like each other. And you're thinking, oh, this person. No, sometimes it's from the whole, process of being raised. This one being preferred over this. They're human beings. And at that tender age, their emotions cannot be managed as an adult. Perhaps if you're an adult, you can say to yourself, well, if this person is preferred, well, then that's fine. You can, for my family, for my husband, whatever. But at that stage, all you have is mom, all you have is dad. And dad prefers, Tommy over you because Tommy plays football and you can't play football. Or mom prefers Jake over you because you're always baking cakes and you can't bake a cake. Whatever the child's inborn traits are, whatever their strengths are, whatever their weaknesses are, embrace them all on an even keel. We were 4 girls, 1 boy. And every time my mother would buy clothes, you should see us, all 4 of us, in the same dress, same shoes, same hair bonnets. And she'll say, I don't want anybody to say that, this one was colorful, then,
Not me. I never understood that until I had 2 girls. I said, okay, the same. I don't have any problem. I don't have to answer why mine is colorful, mine is too long, or mine is too this. I never understood when I was not a mother. When I saw children dress the same way, I said, but they are not twins. Why dress them the same? But now I understand. Like, you don't want to be answering questions that you don't have answers to. So you just do what you're supposed to do.
That it's a rule, that's what has to be done. But it's just to bring out, certain things that. And then sometimes if maybe there's 4 girls, the last girl never has anything new. She always has handmade.
Very true.
The last girl always has hand down. She won't say anything. She wear it quietly. But it's having an effect on her. Why am I the only one? She won't say anything because maybe at that time she can't say much. But she sees the new things being bought for the older ones, and she goes, "Oh, don't worry,
I'll pass it on."
I'm not saying don't pass clothes, but I'll pass it on. But make sure she has a new set as well, just so that everything can be even keel or being fair. Fairness is very important, especially if you're a mother. You shouldn't be seen as a mother or perceived to prefer one over the other. That is a no-no. No at all. Even if there's stepchildren in a situation, you're being rude, you just do your best, what's the word I'm looking for, to treat them all the same, just do your best. At the end of the day, they will have to answer to God as to why they were being difficult or they were being, just do the best. Don't have preconceived ideas that these are mine, and because they are mine, I'm going to give them preferential treatment, and this is not mine. Because many a time, those who do that end up with theirs not doing as well, and then the one that was probably frowned upon is the one that rises up and becomes the cornerstone. So as mothers, it is imperative that we have at the forefront of our minds not to treat any of our siblings, even if our husbands, wards, or just treat them all equally. At the end of the day, they're your kids. No preconceived ideas. Let me give the better ones, so let me push my children. 10 out of 10, those ones that are pushed and are forced don't even turn out well. So let's be fair as mothers, and just play the game fairly. Yeah.
Wow. Let me go to Facebook. Mommy has said a lot. She just dropped this big nugget about we parents not treating our children differently, just not to create sibling rivalry between them. They feeling that they are preferred. Mommy loves me more, loves my sister more than me, or mommy loves my brother more than me. Yeah. Of course, she conceived you. She may not have knowledge of what she's doing, but I believe that today is an opportunity for us all as mothers. If we are doing that, we will unlearn and we will learn to do the right thing. Let me go to Facebook. I have Mrs. Kenny says, God is a mother. Yes, Mommy said God is a mother. Mothers are kingdom builders, he said. So mothers are divine molders. Yes. Okay, Mommy Tando says, we can't hear you when you are speaking. Okay. Please let me know if you can hear me whilst I am talking. Okay. It said African parents and vacation. That one. That one. When it's sometimes unfortunate when school is over, holidays are over and they go to school and everybody is talking. Sometimes it's not even that talking. They are asked to write down what they do on holidays. Yeah. And you will hear them saying, we went to the supermarket, we went to church. So where did you go aside these two? And they don't have anything to say. So this is to our African parents. Mommy again said self-acceptance. Okay, we have modeling right before your child. That is very, very important. Saying one thing and practicing another. God have mercy, Mrs. Kenny said. God have mercy on all mothers. Ma Tando again said it's not too late to connect. Yes, it is not too late. God help us because most of us have only negative eye. We only see when the things are not going well, but when they are going well, we don't appreciate them. And so, just as Mommy has made us to understand, talk much more about the things that they do right. And then if you have to talk about the negative, say it in a very nice way, because words have energy. It's all memorizing in their mind, and what they see themselves as is only what they have heard you say about them. Peace atmosphere, Mommy said, peace atmosphere. They should be always willing to come back home because they know they are coming to meet Mommy. They are coming to meet an atmosphere of joyful, cheerful, and not like we are at the Ukraine. Mommy said Ukraine. It says surviving through the hard times. Yes. We have Nancy says knowledge is power. Thank you so much for joining. We have Benedicta Baba Boatin. Thank you so much for joining. We are so much grateful for your time. No hand manuals. Yes, so parenting. We were not given manuals. Even in marriage, you were only given a certificate. And so we have to do all that we can to acquire knowledge, be able to learn every day to better our lives as mothers. He said tough love. He said we need a good climate in the home. Thank you so much, Benedicta, Lady Benedicta, for joining. Let me say climate maker. Very, very important. He said it's never too late. You can start from somewhere. Yeah, that is to any mother out there thinking that it is too late. They are old. They already, the tree has already taken its roots, and I cannot do anything. There is always room for improvement.
That's right.
We have again Lady Benedicta saying great to hear. I think I have missed some of the comments. Okay, I have, it says we need grace. So yes, so it is grace we need. That is from Mommy Tando. Mrs. Kenny says most times we may not say it, but we know it silently who mom likes and who papi likes.
That's talking about, you know.
You see. But I believe that sometimes you may see it like that, but I don't think a mom who has conceived his or a child, or a father who has given birth to his child will say that I prefer this person than the other. Sometimes it's because of what we do, why they are acting like that.
But for the one that looks like you, for the one that behaves like you, for you to naturally or unconsciously warm up to them, you know, yes, but we should really make it a conscious effort so that that doesn't come across, you know.
Conscious effort that it doesn't come across.
Yes,
so if you are the one that when you are asked to do something at home, you always say no, and your sister always says yes, then of course there would be that preference in between the two of you. So let's do the right thing. They are your parents, they are your head, you listen to them, and you will not see those traits in them. Wow. Our time is already gone, and I don't want to take mommy's time so much, but we will take the final part and we call it a day. Mommy, I know that you also said that you have had professionally, you have had to deal with families who have had problems. I know that with this job, like I have happened to be translators or an interpreter to such issues at the court or in other places. And one of the things that we are told is you have to swear not to talk about their issues outside. Yes. But a bit about what is going on. This is for us to really, mothers or parents to know what is really on ground, what our children are lacking, what we are also not doing right. So what are some of the, maybe one or two examples of the cases, not going into much details, but to tell us what has been going on?
So, I don't know about you guys and how things map out over there, but over here in every school, there's a DSL in every school, designated safeguard lead. In every single.
They have it here also.
Okay. So when you're sending your child to school, whether they are dressed well, whether they've had breakfast, their behavior during the playground, what they do, all of these things are being observed. So the minute maybe the child makes a complaint or the school themselves pick up something. Say, for example, the child is shabbily dressed every time they come to school and they eat all the food in the dining hall, putting some in their bag. You know, it's a red flag. What's going on at home? What's happening? And so most of the time, we have this notion that these people from these services are quote unquote, they are bad, they have to get us. But there's help available. They're there to help. Believe you me, there's no funding, it's nobody's intention to come and grab your child from you. They're for the lack of a better word, there are bad people out there doing bad things to children. So it's always better to get in there first before the child gets hurt or the child gets destroyed. Am I making sense? And so they pick on these things. So when you're sending your child to school, make sure they are well kept. Make sure that you give them their dinner money. Make sure they've eaten. Make sure that everything is in place, you know, because that's their job. And that's what they're there to do, to observe and to pick. And if they do that and they call you in for a meeting, don't frown, don't go fight. You know, sit down, listen to what they're saying, work with them. When you begin to resist, then they think that, look, there's something to hide. What are you doing wrong that you don't want to brought to the surface? You know, and all of these things. So let's just have a free and open mind. Let's do what is right. When you're called in, don't sit down, don't argue, try and talk to them, you know, in a mature way, in a calm way. Don't be angry. That's what these people say. No. Let's talk to them. No. So just talk to them. And if there's anything happening at home, create an avenue where the child can come and talk to you rather than go to the teacher. Am I making sense? Because when they raise their hand and go to the teacher, then obviously they can't keep quiet. They need to bring it to the surface and
They
rake you
say
in.
the truth, what is really on ground.
What's going on? And sometimes, truly and genuinely, there are things going on that the child needs to be rescued, the child needs to be safeguarded. Am I making sense? So we can't play, 50-50 and think that, oh, let's just leave it. Because if something happens to the child, there's gonna be problems. So let's work together with them. Sit down, find out the best resolve. How we can resolve this? How can this be done? How can we put, help in place and so forth and so on? Let's not fight them. Let's not see them as enemies. It's best to work together with them. That's what I can say on this issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's so many issues. And there's certain situations where all I'd say that have a good relationship with your child, because there are certain things that the child will not tell you, but they will tell other professionals or school or and you, the parents, if they haven't given consent, they can't tell you. So have a good rapport with your child, open conversations, be transparent. You're being transparent. You're having open conversations, but you're still a disciplinarian. Am I getting across? Don't be all rigid, all tight. The child is going through something they can't even approach you to tell you. Then you, as a parent, how are you going to help that child, support that child? So make a leeway, create an avenue of conversation. How did your day go? What's going on in your school? It's easy. Those of us who are working, you wake up in the morning, everyone's grabbing their breakfast, we're out the door, catching the train, hustle and bustle, you go and come, you're tired. How was school? The child is upstairs. Oh, hello, Casey, how was school? You don't even go to find out how was school fine? That's your room, you reply your dinner, you're sleeping. The cycle begins the next day. Perhaps until Sunday, when you're all calm, that's when you really have, but even then you're dashing off to church, you're going to need back, and the cycle continues. Meanwhile, there's something going on that you give your attention to, but you're not. So we need to make time for our children, even if it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes, sweetheart, how was school today? Is there anything that I need to know? Anything I need to help you with? Are there any challenges? Find out how the child day was. Because you left the home at 7 o'clock in the morning. You didn't return till 7 p.m. The whole day has gone without you. And remember, you're the ultimate guardian. Without you. And then perhaps even sometimes some of us, when we get home, the child has been asleep.
True.
They wake up morning, the cycle begins. The next morning, the cycle begins. When do we get time to sit down to really find out what's going on? Some people take it into food, start eating, put on weight. Some people start losing weight, and all sorts of vices. So we need to make time, even if it's 2-3 minutes. How are you? How did your day go? Are there any challenges you're going through? And even if they're at university level, they're still not, over and beyond. Call them. How are you? How are things? How are lectures? How are you feeling? And get in there. Find out how you're doing. And if there's any support, any prayer to pray with them, any support, any advice. So they know that mom's got my corner. But if and I'm not pointing fingers, I know it's not easy. Some of us have 2 jobs, some of us 3 jobs, by the time you go around the circuit, you're shattered, you're tired. Mortgage to pay, bills have to be paid, so you can't stay home. I understand that. I appreciate that. What are these mortgages we're paying? Who are we going to leave those posterity to? The children. And so if we don't make sure that they are okay, how will they even get the sound mind to be able to manage what we're leaving them? It's of no use. Some of us are doing 4 jobs, 5 jobs, we're building a project wherever. We're neglecting the core, the essence of our being, the children. And then they get into all sorts of vices, they get into all sorts of, and then you're like, oh my goodness, is the hometown, my hometown demon. What? It's not the hometown demon. It is you that hasn't put things into perspective, things into place. And that building that you're building, they're not even going to go live there. So, and I'm not saying don't do anything, but let there be a good balance. Make time for them. That's very important. Make time. Even if it's 5-10 minutes, sit them down. How are you? It's a good question, and open any question that can bring a lot of things. How are you feeling? It's a question most of us in the African particular like to ask. Wait, you need to pay the bills. You got clothes on your back. What's your problem?
Over your head. That's all.
Yeah? What's your problem? When I was your age, I had to go fetch my food. What are you talking about? Didn't I buy you McDonald's? What's wrong with you? The environment is different, you know, and so we need to, you know, reach out to them. I'm not saying that let's, you know, just mollycoddle them and spoil them. That's what I'm saying, you know. But let's reach out. Let's know what's going on in their lives. Let's know what is going on with them, you know, to be able to give them proper support or help. You know, because if they don't have that, they link up to all sorts of, you know, most time, you know, with different associations. And then you're like, how did you get here? Why are you a bad child? Everybody needs somebody. Human beings are relational. You know, you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to upload on. You need somebody to connect with. And so if they don't have that, and somebody's offering, and you're a child, you know, sometimes you don't make such sharp, you know, smart decisions. They can fall in the hands of anybody. So let's make time. Let's talk to them. Let's pray with them. You know, because of the gift of God that we're able to do what we do.
It's just by the grace of God. Wow.
It is. It is. You know.
Yeah. Mommy has made us understand the kind of job that she's doing. She hears a lot. She hears a lot. And so a bit of nuggets for you to know what to do. As you may already know, your child is yours, but he or she is not yours. It's for the state. They are watching them. They are watching them right from their dressing, what they eat, how they comport themselves, how they play with their friends. They are watching all that. And so just as mommy said, if they see those things and they call you, one punch for us Africans, we are so much aggressive. We know we are doing the wrong thing, but we still have to be aggressive when we are confronted. And that makes them more aggressive with us because they know that then there is something going on. We don't need to pretend with them. I have had cases where the case is in court, they are being interviewed, and the mother and father have pictures to show, okay, this is their room, this is their bed. But they go on and ask you, so how come you took these pictures? And I'm like, wow, you are complicating yourself. Why do you have these pictures? Was it that you wanted to prove something? They are making their checks. They don't need you to present pictures to them to show where they sleep. You don't need to prove that to them. They will even ask the children what goes on. And don't be aggressive. Listen to them, and they will tell you, they will help you to know what to do.
If there's a problem, they will help.
They will help.
They will, the right help.
And even as a mother, if you also need support.
Yeah, they're there to support you, you know, in every dimension, you know. So let's just work together with them and not let's see them as, oh, they're here to do this and that. No, let's work in collaboration with them. Let your voice be heard. Let your child's voice also be heard. Find out their perspective. Don't make decisions over their head because you're not in the school with them. You know, listen to them. Listen to their perspective, their view of things. Take it with you. Discuss with her. Take it on board. Family thing. You know, let's all discuss and find out the best resolve to the situation. Rather than when they come, you don't even open the door. You've bolted yourself in like Fort Knox. You know, you're not having it, you don't want to speak. I mean, how are they going to perceive things? Then they're also going to up their game and make sure that they get in there to know what's going on. You know, because like everything, there's good and bad. But quote unquote, it's a bad situation and they need to get in to rescue the child or whatever. Am I making sense? Yeah. So work with them, you know, be open, be transparent. It is what it is. This is where we are at. I'm struggling. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to manage this. Is there help available? And half the time, or 9% there is help available. There is support. You know, let's not see, because there's so many myths. Oh, if you let them in, they'll be looking into your pot. No, nobody's going to look into your pot. They don't have time. You're there to execute what needs to be done. You know, and that's it. You know, and if you're doing like the right thing, like I said, then there's no problem. But if you're on a dodgy keel, And that, you know that, you know. So,
Wow. Thank you so much, Mommy. Thank you so much, Mommy. Don't forget motherhood from the Christian perspective. Get your copy. It will be of a blessing to you. It will be of a blessing. I'm told that they don't see. This is the book. It is behind Mommy too. If you see me talking, you can also see the book. It is very nice, and the content is so great. Let me go to Facebook because I just saw a Mommy wrote something that really melted my heart. Mommy, people are hearing what you are saying. People are really hearing. When I was at your age, yeah, that is the language of our mothers. We have our Mommy Destiny word. She says, I'm really blessed to join this program. God bless you for your advice. Mommy, that is to you. We have our Lady Ekwi Asante watching. She said, Lord help us to be parents who are present in our children's life. Are you present in your child's life? Not present because you are in the house with them, but are you present that you know what is actually happening in their life? Wow. Mommy Tando says, Mommy Margaret Tando says, great counsel, blessings, Mommy. That is to you, Mommy. Again, Destiny Word, the Destiny Word says, oh, you can say that again. Our children are even scared to open up to us. They are scared to open up to us. Sometimes they may be scared to open up to you, but some of the places you take them to, like church, they may have some people around them who they can open up to. And then if you know their friends, maybe from them you might not hear anything, but from their friends you can pick up what is really actually happening in their
or they can find a trusted person, be an aunt in the church or somebody they have a good relationship with, and offload whatever it is that is bothering them. Because it is not useful, even as an adult, to be carrying stuff. Has its mental, implications. You need an avenue to vent things, to outpour. So it's imperative that even if they can't come up to you, there's an auntie or somebody they can look up to that they can put up with. That the person will not judge them, will be a listening ear. Because sometimes we're too quick to give advice. To listen and then break. Yes, listen and then break. Come back another time and give that.
Mommy, there is a question here.
Okay.
Margaret Tando says, when a child is recommended to see a counselor, parents think that their child are going crazy. Their child is going crazy. What do you have to say about that?
You live with a child in the home, and sometimes we really think we know our children, but we don't. There's a Jekyll and Hyde situation going on. When they are home, they are Jekyll. When they go to the school, they are Hyde. And so the school is picking up certain things that mom or dad have no clue about. And so when they perceive this, and they write to you that they think that your child should go for counseling or therapy, it's not a bad thing. You can accompany the child. You're entitled to do that, to sit in the counseling, or just escort the child, just to know what it's about. It's not a bad thing because, like I said, sometimes you think you really don't. There's sort of things going on that you'll be like, my goodness, this is what is going on. You see them a certain way, they are home, they're doing what they need to do, they go to church, they follow you. But the core of the matter, or the crux of the matter is possibly they're whatever. They're showing different characteristics, in school. Character traits in school that the school has picked that you know nothing about. And so there must be a good blend. Let's not just throw the bath water away with the baby. Let's just take it in bits. If you don't trust the whole idea of all of this thing, go with the child. Try and build a good relationship, a good rapport, and try and tap in. And like I said, if they can't open to you, maybe you have a trusted friend at church, get close to, Ajua, find out how she's doing, ask her open-ended questions that you can't say yes or no. Like, how you fine, finish. That open-ended questions. So how feeling? She can't just say, how are things? How is school these days? And things that will give you open-ended questions. She can't just say yes or no, and she will carry on. And then try to tap into what is gradually. Because if she can't open up to you, she must be able to open up to somebody, and just see how it goes. But it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's just to correct a few things. Oh, you're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. And that's about it, really. But we see it as, your mama put down or counseling. That's how you view it and rate it. But it's not so. But sometimes the child might be hyper. When they're in the class, they won't sit. They're always going, joking around, jumping around. They need somebody to sit them down and say, look, this is not acceptable. A person apart from you, the parent, because their familiarity. Familiar with you. When you tell the baby to, oh, mom, oh, dad. But they need a third person to come in the equation to let them see the seriousness of what they're doing. So all of these things, they're interconnected. But just be with the child, be involved. Don't let them do it without you. Be involved. You can support them, go with them, find out how it's going. And if it's something that you feel, it's going a way that it shouldn't go, by all means, intervene. Let your voice be heard. I don't think this is good for Tommy. I think we can look at it this way. That's why I said work with them. It's your counseling, take it. Then they're going to take him and do things that you have no idea. So work with them. Yeah.
Wow. It is so important. And just as Mommy has said, if they cannot talk to you, they might talk to an auntie in church and all that.
Yeah.
But I want to also tell you, the auntie your child is coming to, whatever he or she is
potentiality
has to stay with you.
Exactly.
Remember,
a trusted person. Because confidentiality is very paramount. You don't want a poor child to pour their heart and soul to you. And then Auntie B or Auntie G will be going around telling every Tom, Dick, and Harry. That will just, kill the child's spirit. So a trusted, mature person who can handle, who is emotionally intelligent, who knows that this information that I'm holding, if I let it loose, this poor child, they will have an effect on this poor child. Not just anybody, but somebody who's emotionally intelligent, a mature Christian, prayerful, who understands the information that has been handed over to her. That's what I'm talking about. Not just anybody who goes to the hairdressing salon and starts talking about
communication.
Yeah.
Wow. It is all because we are watching each other's back. Maybe my child may not be able to talk to me and will talk to you.
Yeah.
And yours will not be able to talk to you, but will talk to me.
Exactly.
So we are doing this all together. I watch your back, you watch my back. And so you don't go out no, because you are doing it today to somebody's child, but somebody will do it to your child. You want the betterment of the community.
That's right.
My child may be good by God's grace, but he or she will be with your child who is not good. And so, like say the can say, or when you are about to fry egg, and you have to one bad egg can spoil all the egg that you are about to cook.
Exactly.
And so you have to be careful of what you do, the consequences of your action. Wow. Mommy, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have learned a lot. I believe that you are going to write to me as soon as the program is over, how to get your copy of the book, Motherhood from the Christian Perspective. Not just motherhood, but from the Christian perspective. It is a great piece, I say again. Mommy, thank you so much. But before we go, we would like you to give us your final words.
Oh, what do I have to say? My final words that, as mothers, I believe that we are the bedrock of society. We are the fabric of society. When you go to the prisons, those who are in the prisons were mothers that gave birth to them. And so it's a great responsibility. Precious lives have been given to us to mold these ones who will grow up and become adults and become part of civil society. So it's a great responsibility. And you cannot travel this motherhood journey alone. You need the grace of God. You need to pray. You need to seek wisdom from God. How do I do this? How do I manage this? Our words must be medicinal to our children. What you say, how we say it, and all of these things, so that we can mold the children to become what they are meant to be. We need to be there to support them. You must be your child's cheerleader. You must always be at their back, supporting, whether good or bad. Irrespective, you don't only choose the good ones or the good times, and when it's bad, we walk away. We must be there, constant. We must be a constant in our children's lives. Supporting them, encouraging them. And I think God is our only source. Let's equip them with good values. Christian values, hard work, discipline, respect. Teach them our social graces, how to treat people. Kindness, very, very important. Be kind. And all of these things. That is what I think we need to do. We need to go back. And by back, I don't mean that we should really go back to the dark ages. But the biblical concept of motherhood, training up a child in the way they should go. And when they grow, they will not depart. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Train up a child the way he should go. And when they grow, they won't depart from it. What you will train them with is what they will do, and they won't depart from it. It will always remain with them. Let me take my very last comment here. I think I saw some few comments. Okay, I saw this is from Lady Gifty Asiedu. She says a great responsibility. A great responsibility. We have again our Lady Benedicta. She says, wow, thank you so much for joining. Again, Lady Destiny, where she says, God bless you, ma. That is to our mommy. And then our mommy Tando again says, big heart to contain them. Yes, this is so important. From YouTube, we have, thank you so much, our Lady Ruth. Thank you. A big thank you for connecting me to mommy. She says, as teachers, we look also the relationship between parents and children. Pick them on time, bring them sweet gifts, and say sweet words. Wow. Our Lady Ruth has spoken together all that mommy has said. She said, I think she's talking from a teacher's perspective. So she's telling you what to do as a mother. She says, concerning the relationship between parents and children, when you are going to pick them up from school, go on time. He said, bring them gifts, sweet gifts. He also said, you should say sweet words to them. That is also very, very important. Thank you so much, Lady Ruth, Asamwanyako and Nim. Thank you so much. Mommy, you have been of a blessing to us. And all that we can say is that God richly bless you in your ministry and in every area of your life. You have really blessed us with so much nuggets that are going to help us as mothers.
Thank you.
A great responsibility, a great ministry, a whole job altogether.
Yes.
It is said that there is no pay, a job without pay. But of course, we believe that when our children are grown and they turn out to be what God has said they will be, it is a great reward to us. And that is the greatest reward we can ever ask for. Mommy, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the
Our
opportunity.
followers, we also want to say a very big thank you for sticking with us, always making time with us to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. It has been the Inside Studios, it has been the Virtuous Woman, where we always say that be the best you can be and take one day at a time. God richly bless you, and bye for now.
Thank you.